This little creature that you see here is called a tardigrade, which means slow walker. It is also affectionately known as the water bear or moss piglet. I've stumbled across it when I collected some decomposing leaf litter in front of my caravan at Woodfordia, where I used to work and live part-time. Because of their uniqueness, they belong to their own phylum called Tardigrada. They are segmented microanimals that have 8 legs and measure between 0.1 and 0.5 millimeters in length, and that translates into 100 to 500 micrometers. They are comprised on average of only about 1,000 cells, but some can have up to 40,000, and they grow by cell expansion rather than multiplication or division and undergo molting. So that means that they shed their cuticle or the outer shell, which is actually made up of hardened or sclerotized proteins and chitin, and that is similar to that of what insect exoskeletons are made of. There are 8 legs and in little claws arranged in different ways, and this claw arrangement distinguishes species from one another. Some even have sticky pads, and in marine species the legs are actually telescopic. There are over 1,000 known species, but thousands more are yet to be discovered. Tardigrades are cosmopolitan, so that means they occur across the globe in their particular niche. Species may be specific to an area, a region, or a climate or habitat. They live across all terrestrial and aquatic habitats, from mountain tops to deep sea to rainforests and even the Antarctic. But besides the 62 species living exclusively in freshwater habitats, all non-marine tardigrades are found in terrestrial environments. Tardigrades are aquatic animals, and this means that they require a thin film of water. These little guys have no lungs or gills and acquire air through diffusion, the movement of gases like oxygen through their cuticle. You can say they breathe through their skin. Majority prefer moist habitats and are found on lichens, liverworts, soil, and leaf litter. In aquatic habitats, they are associated with plants, algae, and other substrates to which they can hold on to. There can be as many as 300,000 tardigrades per square meter of soil and 2 million per square meter of mosses. Some species live in hot springs, some are parasitic on marine invertebrates. Some are predatory and in soil and leaf litter consume other tardigrades, nematodes, rotifers, and other microscopic creatures. Tardigrades feed by sucking up the fluids of plant, fungal, or animal cells using a stylet or a straw-like piercing apparatus, and then they pump up the contents of those cells into their gut. They are also prey of predators such as spiders, mites, and insect larvae, and this makes them extremely important in nutrient cycling. Majority of species engage in sexual reproduction, where mating occurs between males and females. Some species might be parthenogenetic, and that means that there is no fertilization required via sperm. The female has a reproductive entry called cloaca, which also serves as an anus, and this is very much like in birds and amphibians. The male may place sperm into the cloaca or penetrate the female's cuticle, the skin or the armor you could call it, placing the sperm inside the female body cavity, and the sperm cells then end up in the ovary to fertilize the eggs. Another reproductive mechanism involves the placement of the sperm under the cuticle, and when the female sheds her cuticle during mating, she lays the eggs within it to be fertilized by the deposited sperm. Some aquatic tardigrades engage in courtship, where the male strokes the female with his cirri, which are these sensory hairs on his body, stimulating her to lay up to 30 eggs, depending on the species, which he then fertilizes externally. Tardigrades are known to be resilient to extreme temperatures, pressure, radiation, dehydration, starvation, and even surviving exposure to outer space. Terrestrial and freshwater species can tolerate long periods of drought by forming a desiccated cyst. Tardigrades can suspend their metabolism to 0.01%. That's almost a completely suspended metabolic state, and almost a complete loss of the animal's water content. In the cryptobiotic cyst form, these creatures become highly resistant to environmental stresses, surviving up to minus 270 degrees Celsius to as much as 150 degrees Celsius. And this is at least for short periods of time, but some have actually been boiled for an hour and survived. They can also survive anaerobic or oxygen-deprived conditions. They can survive being suspended in a vacuum, ionizing radiation, and high pressure. Some species have survived 50 times the radiation that would kill a human, or pressure that is 1,000 times greater than a very hard fist punch. These superpowers make tardigrades one of the toughest animals on Earth. In 1983, Antarctic moss was frozen at minus 20 degrees Celsius for over 30 years, and when defrosted in 2013, a tardigrade called Sleeping Beauty 1 eventually woke up, resumed metabolic activity, and laid eggs 5 times over. The level of their resilience actually demonstrates the importance of these little creatures in sustaining various habitats. And if we were to destroy the Earth, tardigrades will likely survive and help to restore the ecosystems as time goes on. In 2007, dehydrated tardigrades were taken on the Photon M3 mission into space and were exposed to both vacuum and solar ultraviolet radiation for 10 days. And around 70% of those protected from the ultraviolet radiation were rehydrated, and many lived on to produce viable embryos. There were 3 rehydrated individuals that survived the exposure to space vacuum, cosmic radiation, and UV radiation. So tardigrades are not just extremely cute, but also possess some fascinating powers, which is a statement to their essential role and importance in ecosystem health. But despite the ability of the creatures such as tardigrades to survive extreme conditions, with continued deforestation and habitat destruction, we are causing death of the soil ecosystem, depriving soils of the vital organic matter and moisture, and therefore food and water essential for the microscopic life that supports plant life. So to ensure the continued existence and function of the microscopic water-dependent creatures, such as tardigrades, we need to re-establish and restore the dense vegetation cover which cools the earth, creates rain and organic matter essential for retaining soil moisture and feeding the ecosystem, supporting invertebrate, amphibian, reptile, bird, mammal, and human life. I really hope to meet more of these little guys and to discover and learn about the various habitats that support them. If I have the pleasure of finding more tardigrades, you will be hearing about it for sure. So I'll be back with more show and tell soon. Until then, bye for now.